There was a study that said there's two emotional buys in a person's life. That's when they buy a house and that's when they buy a car. Whereas an iPhone is still pretty transactional. You know, it takes a lot of thought and effort. And so at car companies, in order for someone to spend 250,000 RMB, they think about that transaction a little bit more than they would for an iPhone. And so that's where the car makers really need to take their time to understand each individual market segment and find out what their needs are, create those features that take care of those needs. And then I still think there's opportunity for the Chinese EV startups, the big four, to really drill down a little bit deeper to better understand their customers in China. With the EV companies, now that they're IPO'd in the US, there's going to be a lot more pressure on them for growth. And the only real way to grow quickly is also just through the international markets. So I think that's priced into their share price. And so I think NIO is at about a $30 billion valuation. I think Xiaopeng's 14 or 15 billion. So NIO is close to Ford's valuation. And they've sold in one market and maybe a couple 100,000 units since they've started. So it'll be interesting to see how they tackle the international markets. One thing I will say about all of them is that I appreciate their ambition and their aggressiveness. Now that they're well capitalized they're essentially all SOEs now. I think moving forward, what they do with that money and where they invest is going to be kind of an important indicator of how successful they're going to be, right? Because with NIO, it's the community, right? But that also means that they're very design oriented. They really are trying to carve out that positioning. Now, is that positioning in Europe already taken by one or two car companies? I don't know. Is that going to be a successful marketing positioning for them there? Southeast Asia is very, very diverse. And so a marketing strategy in Germany might not work in France, might not work in Italy. And so that level of complexity for an international market or entering an international market, that's a lot for them to chew on, when I would argue that they haven't perfected their domestic market or aren't able to really gain a ton of sales in a short period of time in their home market, China. With COVID, to me, they have about 12 or 18 months to kind of really build excitement, understanding, educate, awareness about their brands and their vehicles before they launch. So how wisely they'll spend that time will determine their success long term. I think it's an exciting time to kind of be following the sector, because now it's just not limited to China, and there's going to be much more pressure on them. And Tesla is used to that level of pressure globally. And the big four they're used to it here, but are they ready for the pressure in the United States and the pressure from Europe? It'll be interesting to see.